Louis Pasteur said that the secret to the infinitely large is infinitely small. And I was thinking about that as I play this game this evening. There's so many city builders where you will draw out zones and you'll build more buildings, and no sooner than you build something, you've got to build more things, and it's just a non-stop competition to lay out more zones, to keep on chasing the next thing you need to do. And you might think that you want to pay attention to the granular details, but very quickly you go from starting a fresh new map to having hundreds of buildings and all sorts of things going on, and it's just a whole lot of the same. But here in Foundation, each one of these little people has a mission, has a job, has a purpose. And if I give them a job, they'll keep that job until I give them a different one. They build their little houses, and they stay in their little houses until they need to move out to go somewhere else. But there's a sense of organic permanence about Foundation, from what I've seen here, to where I can look at this tiny little village here and feel like it's vibrant and exciting and interesting and full of life without having any need to expand it or rush to make it encompass a larger area on the map. And I was thinking about how I enjoy this game because it makes me slow down, and it encourages a more meditative approach to city building. It's not about competition, it's not about speed building, it's not about min-maxing, it's not about doing anything specific other than just mindfully playing the game and immersing yourself in this peaceful environment that is Foundation. It's a really beautiful game, but I think you could probably learn something about life also from this game, because it's really quite wholesome indeed. See our newest settler here. Yeah, it's Fiddlin. Now, where are we gonna name him? We're gonna name him Scott. Spot A. Welcome to the Republic, Scott. All right. I think we're going to see if we can build a sheep pasture. I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I can't do sheep pasture yet. Oh yeah, we can. Clothing, right there. So, we're going to see if we can find some sheep to put out here. And I think it would be quite nice if we could put our sheep farm right here in this space near where the church is. Because wouldn't that be quite a nice pastoral scene to have a sheep farm right next to the church? Something about just like that, I'd say. can't wait to see the little fluffy sheep running all over the place. It'll be quite entertaining. So I want to talk about, well, let's see. It's a Bible verse that I was thinking is quite apt and fitting to begin a Monday as we end the Saturday night and go into Monday. It is Philippians 4:8. It says, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. And in life, we get so distracted by trying to jump on some kind of a treadmill, by trying to prove something to other people, by trying to be things that we're not. We get so wrapped up in people's bad habits and people's inappropriate behaviors. And even if we don't mean to, we get wrapped up in their toxic outlook on life. And it's extremely important, I think, for us to take time to disconnect from the toxic, unkind, critical spirit that's so pervasive in the world today. Everyone seems to have their 2 cents on why other people need to be different, or why they're better than somebody, or why it's alright to harm somebody for being different. People don't think about this, and they don't mean to be cruel or unkind or evil. It just sort of happens. It's those moments when you go from thinking that you're going to be a peaceful, zen sort of person to being kind of vengeful and vindictive and having that attitude of, maybe rooting against people's success, maybe wanting to be able to say, I told you so, or point the finger, or say, hey, you're going to suffer for the things that you've done because you deserve to face the consequences of whatever it is that you've done. We have this sort of a rivalry that we allow to be an ever-present dictate in our lives. And it, on the surface, seems like it's fun. It seems like it's the best way to go, but it's kind of going back to that premise about how the secret to extremely large things is found in the extremely small things. It's very important to find peace in life, to respect yourself and to respect others, to be calm and patient, and to be a person who chooses to focus on those things which are edifying, which are upright, which are uplifting, which are kind and peaceful and meditative, instead of being always that frenzied person that's rushing through life, continually consumed by demons within and without. I think most people The things, that people say, that they're very important things, usually they're not. Usually people just act like things are very important because if they were honest about how small their lives are, they would feel inconsequential and they'd feel uncomfortable. And so they act like little things are actually great and enormous, monumental things. And it's really quite silly. It's like if I were to play a video game, and that's all I do, and then I act like it's so very important for me to win, and it's so very important for me to make sure everyone else follows the rules of the game. And maybe I'm right in a way, but to anyone who's outside of that bubble, anyone who doesn't play the game, they'll know that it's all just complete silliness, because it truly doesn't matter who wins the match. It doesn't matter what job you chose. It doesn't matter whether you're a higher rank or a lower rank. All that matters is that you do something to accentuate good things in the world and to uplift the human spirit instead of being a detractor. You don't have to do extremely technical things or be the greatest leader that's ever lived or be the most proficient inventor to be a meaningful contributor to the human condition in a positive way. You just have to have a good attitude. You have to want to see good things in the world. You have to choose to accentuate the positive and not be that person that gets off on putting other people down. And maybe it's hard not to do that, even if you're trying to be positive. Well, then you're going to point out the people that are negative and say, well, look at them, they're the problem. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Looking at other people, always looking at something in the world as the problem, and never just seeing good in the world. We look at the news, we see all sorts of crazy things happening in the world all the time. And should we be aware? Yeah, we should, to a point. Should we be prepared? Yes, of course, as much as possible. But I wonder how many people look at the news and they look for bad news because they have this sense that their life is boring. They have this sense that they need something exciting to happen. They have this sense that life isn't good enough the way it is. And so they're desperate for something to break up the monotony of a life that they're not satisfied with. That's a terrible thing, isn't it? When you are so miserable about your own life that the only things that really excite you are things that harm other people and things that create disasters that might give you the opportunity to get ahead at somebody else's expense. Don't be that person. Always try to see good things. Always, in all things. It's not going to hurt you to choose to see good in the world. So that is my thought for the day. Make a resolution to be a little slower, a little kinder, a little more patient, and see good things in small things and stop trying to be in control of all the big things. It's okay if sometimes something that you were thinking ought to be isn't, or if something you want to be doesn't come to pass. It is all right. So, there's a sheep. Isn't that cute? I can hit the button. And now there's a little sheep running around. I wonder how many sheep there ought to be. I really don't know. It's missing mature livestock. I guess you have to wait until they grow up a little bit. And they grow up quickly, don't they? There we go. And the shepherd has come out of his little house. And we have some sheep running about there. Near the church. Quite a nice pastoral scene, indeed. And we have a weaver hut, so we can now make cloth. I suppose we'll need one more warehouse, don't we? While we're at it, we'll go up there and unlock the goods market and decorations. And there they are. Oh, we can build a little fence. We'll build a little fence for the sheep. I guess not, because it requires tools. So I don't want to waste tools on that right now. You can plant a tree there, though. That's nice. And we'll build a good stall. Very nice. And we'll give it a canopy. There we go. It's important to believe that your life is good, despite all the contradictions that life throws at us, to accept them and to know that it's okay. It's okay to have lots of contradictions in life and to feel like a lot of it just doesn't really make sense. And yet it's still a wonderful and beautiful world that we have the opportunity to be part of. Third warehouse is nearly finished. Speed up the game a little bit and get that done. I like hearing the church bells toll. Imagine living in a little village and you have a tiny little shop where you could get simple wares like this little market stand we're building here. And that would be, that would be your market. You'd go there and that would be where you'd get your things. So now we have all sorts of crazy abundance, really. We have all these stores and online shopping and all kinds of things. And the funny thing is, nobody ever feels like it's enough. Isn't that crazy? But if you have very little and you make the most of it, you have an abundance. And yet, when you have more, suddenly, it's never enough. It's interesting how that works, isn't it? And that's create a few more sheep. I don't know how many sheep we can have. It says, seriously, stop. Alright, I'll stop. That's a lot of sheep. Can you have too many sheep, though? That's the question. And they're very cute, too. Well, ain't that nice? New market stall, new warehouse, little neighborhoods expanding, and we have sheep running around by the church. You can't go wrong with that. What do we got here? The elders, the much respected leading men and women among the region's laborers, heard of your village and wished to make themselves useful. They brought welcoming gifts, tools, to ease your village's lot and pledged their assistance hereafter. Your support is much appreciated. They've given us labor influence and tools. Well, isn't that nice of them? And there's our beautiful little town starting to take shape here on a small peninsula surrounded by the river. We'll welcome a couple more settlers to our little town, and then we will call this episode a wrap. And who's this going to be? This will be Gary. And let's say, yep, that one's Gary. And that one is going to be Jeremy. I think. Make sure I don't double up people's names. You get to have a lot of people. That one, I have 2 Scots, so. There we go. He'll be Lane. Yeah, there we go. Welcome our new guests. We're now at a population of 46. We have a positive balance on our budget. We do seem to naturally be gaining influence with labor. But I kind of am leaning toward maybe doing clergy, because I like the idea of having a monastery. Of course, I also like the idea of having a military fort. But maybe we'll just go with labor. We'll see. I guess that'll be something to think about. All right. Well, till next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.